Hi folks. Now I kind of saved the best till last in a way with this knife here. Now you'll have seen recently I'd ordered three knives from Michael May. They took about 6 weeks to come. They arrived a week or so ago, and you'll have seen the first two. This one isn't what I ordered. That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. The reason being that I commented on this Pocketknives wood that Michael had got, so I've got to get one of those. So I ordered that. So that's what I was going to order. And I thought while I was on there, I'll put in an order for a couple of others, and I put in the Ettrick pruner and this Barlow. Michael Michael had also put up a picture of another knife which had this burl wood on, and he just out of the blue just said to me, "Those three knives you've ordered, would you like the burl wood on one of them?" And I thought, well, I've got to keep the Pocketknives, and there's lots of brass on this one, so I thought this Barlow would be the ideal one to get the burl wood on. So he did that for me. Now I don't know. I presume it would have been a cost upgrade, but he didn't ask me for any money, so I'm extremely grateful for that. He also did the file work, which I'd asked for and I had an offer to pay for, but he hasn't billed me for that. Now that's just he hasn't billed me for it yet, or it could be because he's forgotten, or it could be because he's just a really nice guy. I don't know. But this is a lovely knife. This is unlike the other two. The other one had satin finished brass. This one is polished, and I like polished. I like shiny, and I will spend the rest of eternity, of course, continually shining it and trying to keep the finger marks off it. But I don't care, because I just think it's lovely. Now this wood is beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's got a satin sort of sheen to it. Loads of grain in it. Just lovely. Funnily enough, the back side is probably the prettier, because these they're like it's as though there's been sort of stems growing. They're like knots in the wood from little stems. Now knots could be a problem, but these just add this beautiful picture, and this sort of fractal imaging. It's like a fractal. It's just lovely. I mean, I'm super impressed with this knife, but I think I paid about 200 quid for the three of them. I would have paid that for this one. It's just that, it's that stunning. It's beautiful, beautiful knife. He's done his lovely file work. He's a good style to his file work, actually. I've said this before, but I think there are different styles of the same thing from different makers, and you can tell which maker is which from their pattern. There's a handedness to this one as well, actually. I feel like the filing going across that way is slightly different to the filing going across that way, but it's like a handwriting style. It's almost as though it's the way his writing leans as he writes. And I'm going far too far into this, and this is just going to sound like I have completely lost the plot. You know, some of what Slick's on, please. No, it's just lovely, and it goes right into the blade, and it keeps that lovely pattern. And this knife has a strong pull, but it's openable. It keeps that pattern right up into the blade. It's lovely, really nicely done. Now, I'll come back to this in a second, but the blade grind is not bad. It's not perfect though. It's got a little bit of a beard on it here, a little recurve in here, which is a bit of a shame from day one. That's usually the sort of thing I'll put in when I start to file it myself, to sharpen it myself and make a hash of it. But it's a satin finish. Now, if there's one thing that I probably would have liked differently about it, I think I would have preferred a polished blade, but that's just me. I mean, I got what I ordered, so I can't complain about it, and it is a lovely, lovely, lovely knife. I do have this criticism, but there's a lot not a lot you can do about it, I suppose. I mean, it just is what it is. But the fact that you have to fold the knife to be able to see the tang stamp, M. May, Sheffield, England. Don't know if you can you see that all right? Don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, open it up again. When it's open, you can see M. May, and actually, in a way, the fact that you can sort of see the end of Sheffield is sort of a shame. It might be better if you couldn't. It would, it would just be M. May, but instead it's M. May and half of Sheffield, which is not the best. But I'm being picky. I'm being really picky here because this is a beautiful knife, and anybody. You can see that. You don't need me to tell you it's a beautiful knife. You've got beautiful brass pins, beautifully polished, absolutely smooth. I mean, it's just a lovely knife. I'm so pleased with this. To say that I like this so much when I've just got this, which is also fantastic, and I've just got this, which is also beautiful. This still stands out as being the best of the three by a mile. It's a beautiful, beautiful knife. Now, I will at some point be doing some comparisons of, like a Barlow or a sheep's foot by different companies, Michael, Arthur Wright, and Taylor's Eyewitness, with a couple of other interlopers joining in, and we'll be looking at qualities and so on. But the thing that would have just brought this up to the Premier League, I think, would have been a polished blade. I would have liked that. The other thing, I'm slightly, I don't know whether this is a stylistic thing, because it's stylistic. It's down to the judgment of the maker, I think. But is this a Barlow knife? Now, if I bought an Arthur Wright Barlow knife, it would probably look very similar. We've got the clip point blade and we have the teardrop shape, but you would normally expect with an Arthur Wright, with a Barlow, to have a long, an elongated bolster like that. And if I'd bought one from Boca or somebody else, I would have got the elongated bolster. But I can't say this isn't a Barlow, because, a Sheffield knife maker of some repute made this and told me it was his Barlow. So it's a Barlow. But I would probably have expected to see a longer bolster. Now, what Michael often does is he does a metal bolster of one variety or another, and then a piece of turquoise to extend the bolster, and then whatever the material is that goes with that, the wood or the horn or whatever. So maybe that's why this has the shorter bolster. I don't know, and I've not discussed it with him, so I don't have his opinion. But I would still call this a Barlow, and it will still be part of my Barlow collection, even though it doesn't have an elongated bolster. This, I don't know whether he called this a Barlow, but to me this is absolutely a Barlow because it has the elongated bolster and the teardrop shape, even if it doesn't have a clip point blade. So where the actual definitions come from, I don't know. The Barlow comes from Sheffield, invented by a guy called Obadiah Barlow in about 1670 or thereabouts, I believe. But there's no clear definition of what he called what his Barlow looked like. The Barlow pattern with the elongated bolster, the teardrop, and generally the clip blade, but quite often with other shapes of blades, it really only established itself in the 1820s, 1830s, sometime around then. Before that, there just aren't any pictures. So what Obadiah Barlow created God only knows. I mean, it could have simply been a robust version of the swayback, or the lamb's foot. Americans call it a swayback. We call it lamb's foot after the blade. But you know, you've lost the sway and become a more symmetrical teardrop to make it into a Barlow. Is that bolster any longer? No, about the same. So it's difficult to know what Obadiah's knife looked like because we just don't have any pictures or contemporary examples. But we kind of know the Barlow, and we know what a Barlow looks like because we have what we have today. But whether that was the same 350 years ago, don't know. Never will know. So anyway, there we go. This has gone past my 10 minutes now. So you're probably bored to tears with it, but it's a beautiful knife. Michael May. And you will see more of these when I do some comparisons with tailors and Arthur Wright. But I tell you, without a doubt, this stands comparison with both, and holds its head up high. There's no qualifications required about is cheaper than a tailor's, is more expensive than an Arthur Wright, but you know, it holds its head up high, price irrespective of price. Okay, so if you like this stuff, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more of it, please subscribe, and remember to ring the notification bell if you want to be told when new videos are coming up. Thank you very much.